Okay, this is pretty much where we left off from the previous video. And we just finished looking at Learn, and now we're going to look at Test. So, like I explained, there are a number of things that are better on Test than others because of the way that the cards are designed. So, some of the cards are straight definition. You know, if you have this, what is this sort of thing. But some of them are math-based, and so they give you a set of parameters, and then they ask you for the answer. And some of those don't do well for multiple choice questions for obvious reasons, because they can be, let's see, unlike most multiple choice questions where they try to put plausible answers in, a lot of times Quizlet doesn't do that. And so some of the answers are not even plausible. It still makes it good practice, but you just want to be careful with some of those. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take a look at this and see what's coming up as it's currently designed. So it looks like the answers are coming up. So let's look at options. Multiple choice is fine. Let's try definition instead of term. And we'll give ourselves 10 questions. Okay, create new test. Here we go. So resistor color code white. That one would be 9. Battery that is primarily used in low power applications. So, and here's a great example of why multiple choice isn't always great. So yes, these are just a crapshoot on possible answers for this deck. But the only one that is plausible is the correct answer. So you can see how some of them aren't well designed. So maybe a write-in would be even better. We're going to look at that too. So resistor color code yellow. And that one would be 4. Resistor color code orange should be 3. When measuring voltage, what do I read with my meter? Cross and open. And again, this one, well, these two are both plausible answers, so it's not too bad. Resistor color code violet, so violet should be right there. Resistor color code blue, that should be this one. Conductor, so, and again, this is another one of those ones where you can see why some of them would be better than others, because obviously only those first two are plausible answers. And if you look at them, one of them is all metals and the other one is not, so a conductor is metal. Anyway, watts, of course, that's a measurement for power, and 2 rules for magnetism. So we've got our likes repel and unlikes attract. And these other ones are just really, well, variable resistor 2 leads high current. These are all kind of descriptive things. So that's not a very good one either, because none of these are plausible answers. Okay, so we're going to check it. Yay, we got 100%. Way to go, us. All right, let's look at options, and we're going to go back and look at some written ones. So let's see. We're going to do a few less this time. And we're going to create a new test. Okay, resistor color code violet. We know that one's 7. Components of a voltaic cell. Now here's where you might run into some issues where you might not put it exactly right. So there is a positive plate and a negative plate and electrolyte. I don't think I spelled that right. See, there you go. I'm just going to leave it like that because that's a good example of you might know the answer to something, but you might not know how to spell it. What resistance do I read across an open? Resistance, right, would be max or infinite. We're just going to put max and see what it says. Resistor color code yellow. So yellow is 4. And battery that is primarily used in low power applications. So I believe that is the silver oxide. And I think only because oxide, I think so. All right, we're going to check our answers, see what it does. Okay, so we were correct. Yes, I did spell electrolyte wrong, but if you look at it, even the fact, so you'll notice that negative plate was before positive plate and electrolyte. So technically that one was correct. And this, we said max or infinite. So even though we didn't write infinite down, I would say we got that one right too. So really we actually got it right, but it's a good way to see how the test works. And while the write-in isn't bad, you can run into those issues where you did put down the right thing, but it's not quite the same as what is on the actual test. So just be aware of some of that. Use your options when you're going through the tests. And some of them we're going to look at, hold on a second, we're going to go back to our study sets because I want to look at a different one. Okay, so let's say we wanted to do, let's see, RC practice. So these ones, you look at the decks, and many of them are increase, decrease. There are some numbers here. There's a lot of numbers here. So some of these might not be good multiple choice questions. So when you look at it, what is the base unit for a capacitor? That one's fine. What is total voltage in a series circuit? So here's one where it would be better to have a write-in than a multiple choice. Voltage leads or current lags. What is capacitor leakage? And so if you look at your options, you can just kind of get a feel for the difference between them. Let's say you take out the matching and the true false and you just leave the multiple choice, and let's look at it again. So what typically causes capacitor leakage? Well, there's really only one answer that's plausible. My circuit has two capacitors instead of three capacitors connected in series. The capacitance increase or decreases. Well, both of those answers are on there, so I would say that's a decent multiple choice question. Stores an electrical charge. So this is asking you where the electrical charge is stored. Depending on how well you know capacitors, it wouldn't be too tough to pull the answer out of the options. Capacitance measured in, it's not horrible. There are two that could possibly go for it. But you can see without going into over and over on this that there are some things that are better than others. So we're going to go back to the main account just because I want to show you matching real quick. We're going to go back to our electricity fundamentals because it works really well for those like pure definition kind of things. So you go to matching, and this can be fun because it's kind of like a game. They time it, and you're just dragging. So resistor color code blue, that would be 6. I'm going to drag it over here. And if you get them right, they both turn green and they go away. Now if you get them wrong, let's say we did this. Oh, whoops. Let me get one wrong. Let's say we did this. Then they go red and they go away from each other. Let's see. So nickel metal hydride is a secondary. Found on the right, that would be our outputs. Resistor color code gray. It doesn't matter clearly which one you move to which. And there you go. And it gives you a time. So I did that in 36.4 seconds. And, you know, do you want to play again? So this also has an option, so we're going to look at that. It's right down. Alright, when we go here, I'm going to go back in because it wouldn't let me go to options there for a second. Well, anyway, it has options. For whatever reason, it's not working at the moment. It doesn't have a lot of options. It only has like a couple of them. And you'll see it on the app because they're the same, really, as the computer version. All right, and we're going to cut it off here because it's already gotten a little bit long. And the next one is just going to be the app version.